turning to page 7 of the Kurukulla prayer book. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings never be parted from sorrowless bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from bias, attachment, and hatred. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme among humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you, who are wise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies, forms supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme signs, face like spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not, incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you, the one gone to thusness, I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, and Dharma that pacifies, I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the sublime community intending virtue, I prostrate. Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to the great Sangha, to all 3 ever devout homage, to all worthy of respect, bowing with bodies as many as all realms, atoms in all aspects, with supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly, this is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a mirage, the flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of faults and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. From Tushita's hundreds of gods, protector's heart, to tip of this fresh, pure, white heap, curd like cloud, O Lobsangdrakpa, Dharma's omniscient king, pray come to this place with your disciples. In space ahead, on lion throne, lotus and moon, venerable Guru, smile brightly with delight. Praise day hundreds of eons to spread doctrine supreme merit, field for my mind of faith. Your wisdom mind sees full range of knowables. Your eloquent speech adorns fortunaties. Your beauteous body, famed glory outstanding. Homage to you, worthwhile to think of, hear and see. Pleasant offerings of water, various flowers, fragrant incense, light perfume, and so on. Oceans of offerings set out and envisioned, offered up to you, supreme field of merit. None but you committed with body, speech, and mind, which I have heaped up since beginningless time, especially what has contradicted three vows. Each I confess from my heart with strong regret. In time of strife you strove to learn and practice, shunned eight mundane concerns, made life essence-full. O protector from depths of our hearts, we rejoice in your powerful great deeds. Venerable gurus from love and wisdom, clouds densely massed in your Dharmakaya sky, pray loose a rain of vast profound Dharma on fields of disciples just as needed. May whatever virtue that I've here gathered bring benefit to all beings and doctrine, and may it make venerable Lobsang Dragpa's essential teaching specially shine forever. Mig te wei ter chen raising, dream a campe wang po jam pel yang, tu pung ma lo jom ze sang weda, gan chen ke pe tu gian song kapa, lob sang drak pe shabla so wadep. O glorious and precious root guru, pray take seat of lotus on my crown, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments of body, speech, and mind. O glorious and precious root guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments common and supreme. O glorious and precious root guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness, until supreme awakening remain steadfast. Homage to the exalted three jewels. Thus have I heard at one time the Blessed One is dwelling in Rajagriha on Vulture Mountain, together with a great assembly of monks and a great assembly of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One was absorbed in the concentration of the countless aspects of phenomena called profound illumination. At that very time, the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, was looking perfectly at the practice of profound perfection of wisdom, perfectly looking at the emptiness of inherent existence of the five aggregates also. Then, through the power of the Buddha, the venerable Shariputra said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, how should a child of the lineage train who wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom? Thus he spoke, and the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, replied to the venerable Shariputra as follows: Shariputra, whichever son or daughter of the lineage wishes to engage in the practice of profound perfection of wisdom should look perfectly like this. Subsequently, looking perfectly and correctly at the emptiness of inherent existence of the five aggregates also. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form, form is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, like this, all phenomena are empty without characteristics. That is, they are not produced and do not cease. They have no defilement and no separation from defilement. They have no decrease and no increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness. There is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visible form, no sound, no smell. There is no object of touch, no mental phenomena. There is no I element and so forth up to no mind element, up to no element of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance and no cessation of ignorance and so forth up to no aging and death and no cessation of aging and death. Likewise, there is no suffering, no origin, no cessation and no path, no exalted wisdom, no attainment and also no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and abide in the perfection of wisdom, and because their minds have no obstructions, they have no fear. Passing utterly beyond error, they attain the final state beyond sorrow. All the Buddhas who reside in the three times by relying on the perfection of wisdom become manifest and complete Buddhas in a state of unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the equal to the unequaled mantra, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering since it is not false, should be known as the truth. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed. Tayata, gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisoha. Shariputra, this is how a bodhisattva, a great being, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom. Then the Blessed One arose from that concentration and said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, well said, O child of the lineage, so it is. The profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced exactly as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Shariputra, the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, and the entire assembly, as well as worldly beings, gods, humans, demigods, Gandharvas, and others, were filled with admiration and highly praised what had been spoken by the Blessed One. In the holy supreme abode of the Dakinis, possessed of clairvoyance and miraculous power, unwaveringly caring for practitioners as your children, homage to the host of the three places, Dakinis, Akasamartas. Tayata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisoha. Through the power of truth of the exalted three-jewel speech, may all undecided negativity, such as the four maras, be stopped. May they become non-existent. May they be pacified. All enemies, obstructors, and hindrances, Shanti Kuriya Soha. The 80,000 types of obstructors pacified, freed from adverse harmful conditions. May all be conducive and perfect auspiciousness, bring happiness and well-being here, right now. Saji Perki Jokshing Meitok Tramri Rablingji Ni De Gyan Pari Sangye Jingdu Mete Owa Yiroku Namdak Jingla Chepashok Jetsun Lama Dampagenam Kichakukala Gyanse Trindrigne Jita Tsampe Doje Zinma La Janchu Baru Dagni Gyapsuchi Dagi Chunyan Gi Pesonam Ki Drola Penchir Sangye Drupa Sho Jonan Choke Jonam La Janchu Badu Dagni Gyapsuchi Dagi Chunyan Gi Pesonam Ki Drola Penche Sangye Drupa Sho Jonan Choke Jonam La Janchu Badu Dagni Gyapsuchi Dagi Chunyan Gi Pesonam Ki Drola Penche Sangye Drupa Sho
Okay, good morning everyone. You have good driving on the way? Today is nice weather. Welcome to spring or summer. How you say?
Somewhere between spring and summer.
Between summer and spring. That'd be good. Are you guys get ready to go to beach? Like this week? Like almost 80s. Wow, it's awesome. I think summer is very nice, right? All different colors, all the different birds come back, right? But too hot now, we have problem. Anyway, it's wonderful. Nice to see you. Or nice to meet you. It's wonderful, wonderful. Usually today's weekday, day off everyone. Go to shopping, spend some money. Right? Then keep more things. But you guys chose also sleep longer, right? Usually kids have every day school. Today sleep longer. Then try to come here. It's very nice. Anyway, we just spend the day any kind of activities, right? We didn't see what happened yesterday. How gone 2016? Do you have any experience? Wow, it's 2017, really? Wow. We don't much see there for movement, or the movement or exchange things, just gone. Therefore, we spend the time any kind. Therefore, Buddhism way taught to good activities. That's good. If you're not talking Buddhism, just try to good actions. It's good to spend your day, right? Not always tight to body, stressed. Try to keep open. Like summer we can open all the windows, right? Like that, we can just open all the windows, all our channels. Okay? Okay, first we do a little bit of meditation. Try to a little bit relax to our body, speech, now body and mind. I think you already relaxed, but there are too many different ways. Try to bring in, out. Also, when you bring in, try to full your lung, loss, lung, try to bring complete full or low consciousness. Fill the lung, then bring out like that, okay? And with that also, you just think about like first, like outside, not inside. Visualization, so very beautiful place. All different kind of flowers, different smiles. You are not allergic for smiling, you know. They were like that kind of place, like beautiful. How much beautiful you can think. And then around also beautiful flowers, beautiful different kind of trees, different kind of birds. Like visualization like that, okay? Any kind. You like complete, like weather's very good, the smiles are very good, the environment's very good, different weather's very good, different color flowers, different trees, different birds sound that you're around that, okay? Think about that. Then start to bring in, like a little bit strong, both nose, not mouth. Like when you bring in all the medicines, all different kinds, elbow medicines, you bring in beautiful smiles, food in your lung. Then when you bring out all your softens, negative thoughts, all the sickness go out. A couple times, okay? Both nose bring in. When you bring in like all the good qualities, beautiful smiles, medicines go into your lung. When you bring out, all your sickness go out. Okay, bring in. Now your body will complete like full, happy or complete clear. Then nothing, any sickness. Now you bring in the color of the light into your nose, lung, fill all your body. Like very light. Try to your whole body be very light. Not any pain, not any uncomfortable. Just moment thinking, just like feel peaceful feeling. Be relaxed. Okay, that's good. That's good enough. You're too much. You are too happy. You will jump. You will jump and hit there also, hit there. Anyway, like that kind, try to different meditation, okay? Try to feel happy. But happy and unhappy, it just depends how you think. What do you think? If I had broken my glass here, I had broken my glasses, big problem. Wow, they're very expensive. Very good. It's very bothers me, right? It's, I've broken my glass. Just I don't care. Doesn't bother me, right? What do you think? It's true? Depends how we accept, how we think, right? What do you think? Is it true or not? Usually we don't think, this big problem, I've broken my glass, what can I do? I spend a lot of money, right? Especially if someone broke you, then you broke my glass, big problem. Right? We have someone to complain, it's very good. But even you broke your own, you said, I've broken my glass. Right? Depends how we think. Therefore, like we study this text, very powerful, very practical book. Some Buddhism books also like knowledge for you learn. You don't say, okay, how can I practice? I want to do something practice, I don't know what to do. Right? You read so many books that you don't know what to practice. Even though, listen to you guys, sometimes they're very knowledgeable monks. They study 20 years, then after they say, now I'm going to learn something to practice. This happens. It's not you guys. I'm not talking about you guys. Just the people with nature. You need to put into how you put into practice. Otherwise, practice means okay. I read so many books, some daily commandment, or research some mantras. I'm doing my practice. Right? Usually we say that. Then we say, okay, I'm going to practice my meditation. Yeah, that's meditation, also practice. Yes, they all, you can say they all practice. But the practice means we need to do some action, some mix together. Right? What books say, what teachers say, we need to put into practice. Right? You guys read the book. Do you guys know how you make momo? Do you guys read? Do you know how you make the trimok, Tibetan food? Yeah, momo. Momo is a very popular food, Tibetan. Is there any Tibetan cookbook? Probably, right? I think they opened this one. Anyway, you guys have a lot of cookbooks, right? How many people know cook India food? She knows. She doesn't need a book. You know, that you need book, right? How many people can 100% cook without looking book? You can cook, right? Anyway, like that, right? But you guys, before you cook that, you read the book, okay? Like even cook the water on the rice, he said, how much put water, how much rice, how many times, right? We know that, but we don't do action, that we cannot cook rice. Like you guys, when you cook, you always put book, things here, right? Okay, just how much chop, right? You can look the book, then you can do action like exactly what book say. Then you can get delicious food. Otherwise, you don't have book, then special. Like Westerns did it all the time, the paper book. If you put too much salt or too much sugar or maybe not enough salt, therefore, we didn't really follow the book. Therefore, you follow the book, then you cut, then how long time, exactly that you can get very delicious food. Does it? They were exactly that. You read the book, you say, oh, Bodhicitta, yes, yeah. Oh, Bodhicitta, very powerful, really? All the Bodhisattva, respect Bodhicitta. Wow, even you have Bodhicitta, you become object of the refuge, really? You think that? You read that book, you guys understand. But you really not practice, you don't really much see. They were taught to always, I always mention, his own Dalai Lama get up 2 o'clock morning. 2 o'clock, sometimes not sleep 2 o'clock. Then he do meditation. Before also I thought he meditation just meditation, long time he said not he meditation in the lyrical meditation. Not just start to read finish book. He said, okay, Bodhicitta, okay, how Bodhicitta benefit? Right? Thinking, you really think, oh, yeah, then you're more interested. Right now we can say we all interest, but we not really, not 100% to, wow, right, that's it. We don't really get like that. You understand? Therefore, when you really get that, you say, wow, this is really powerful. Wow, then you are really interested. And you don't need to send back the books to donation any place. Right? This is very important. Like example, like mothers, maybe kids, maybe adults, teenagers, then mothers have not that much strong to look all the time. But usually mothers look kids behind the kids, we say behind the kids, behind, right, behind, always looking kids, okay, what they eating, how they studying, and how they, health, always looking there, right? Even kids destroy things, but like temporarily their mother or father get mad, right? Sarah, you get mad sometimes? Kids, right? Yeah, temporary, this is temporary, there's no long time. But because, why? She has very strong loving kindness for the kids. That doesn't much bother us, even they do bad things. It's my child, very strong, mixed with attachment and compassion and loving kindness. Very strong. Therefore, always looking at that, also mother not really tired. But she doesn't complain now. So I do all the time, you guys. A little bit, not 100%. Oh, I want to give up. Never give up. Because behind that very strong supporter, the compassion, loving kindness, support that, then mother can do anything for the kids. Right? Do you think you guys do this? You have some experience? You most mothers, you have experience, right? If we can look all sentient beings like mother can look her own child, then we have no place to get mad. No jealous, no angry, no attachment, no hater. Then we comfortable, right? Be more healthy. Like this kind of, more develop, more meditation. Like compassion is like that. Like mother and father, I have to say father, otherwise fathers get mad. You say, why Buddhism doesn't talk about fathers? We walk together, very hard walking. Yes, fathers, but mothers have more responsibility. Of course fathers do that. Like example, mother, like kids born maybe couple months, couple years, just years. The father, mother both looking for kids. They're not like give up. Like Bodhicitta means who looking for, try to help, try to benefit all sentient beings. Therefore, you're not really tired. Because you don't have any enemies. You say, yes, I have so many enemies. We don't say really enemy, right? But I not really like them. It's not very nice. Right? Also, a lot of people don't like us. Do you think everyone likes you? No, right? Someone says, oh, this terrible person. Right? But same also us. We like, I'm sure 100% you guys, not intentionally to make others to get mad. Do you do this? Today I want to get mad them, do something mistake. No, right? You try to your best, how you say, how you do things. Also, we cannot do 100% other person's, how you say, other person's view, or other person's idea, or other person's goal. We cannot feel that, right? We try to our best, but the other person get mad. Same, we are not intentionally to making them too mad. There's an example, the other person also try to best for us. But they cannot make everything for what we want. Therefore, if you like thinking that way, we are no place to complain each other. Right? Everyone try to best way, but depends how you smart, or how you act, how you accept like that. They would think about that more. Anyway, so Bodhicitta is a very powerful person, means like complete dedicated for he or she life for other beings. Then we have another question. Okay, if I dedicate my life for other ones, then someone bad person come, what can I do? Right? Everyone's not very nice. Someone try to do bad things for me, then what can I do that? Caution, you have caution like that? Right? Someone going to, okay, give me your finger. What can I do? No, therefore also Buddha said, very skillful. If someone try to attack you, attack. What means attack? Some hit you or something. Yeah. That means, of course you have to protect yourself, but without angry. But we cannot do that. It's very hard. Someone can. But in the moment that time, maybe the other person will get mad, or you cannot compassion. Maybe they will hit you. Just run away. Try to okay, just stop that time. Go away. Do something else. Next time, he all the time, not 24 hours angry, he or she. Then explain, okay, excuse me, do you remember that, what happened? Oh, maybe that's, oh, sorry, that time I'm not very, happy that day. My job, my wife, or my husband, or, my kids, something. I'm sorry, maybe he or she also like that, though they understand that time. Then, if they do something wrong, you can explain, hey, do you remember this? Oh, yeah, this is my fault, this is your fault. All things just calm down. Right? Okay? Sometimes, we talk about a Milarepa. Milarepa is very high practitioner. He don't want to eat, and he said, okay, I want to talk to Milarepa. Things give out, Milarepa give out his family, his all things go to cave, he meditation, then he be Chibilantam, and he say, oh, how about I try? Then we have not enough, the level there, it's dangerous. Then one day, Milarepa makes me beggar. Someone did that. Therefore, very skillful, not exciting, very stable to practice every day. Especially, like, we talk about right now the benefit of the Bodhicitta. Think about that. How they get benefit? Like, if you are really mother, you can just think, okay, it's easy. generation, I left my kid. Okay, if I have all Samjin Bhiksa thinking about like that, if I'm able to think all Samjin Bhiksa like same as my child, what happened? You can get sometimes, you can get married sometimes, but not all the time. I'm not saying you guys get married all the time. Are you guys get married all the time? No, right? Sometimes, just depends in our conditions. Okay? Therefore, read, then try to meditation. Meditation means general that kind of mind, okay? Means Bodhicitta here, I'm looking Bodhicitta like that. Doesn't work. Okay? Try to generate like that kind of mind. Yourself. Okay? This is very important. Otherwise, I'm going to meditation, you just think meditation, Bodhicitta is there, you are here. It doesn't work. Always say, your practice and your mind have no gap. If elephant can go walk there, then it doesn't work. Try to very tight. Then it will change slowly. It's not one day, but slowly. Okay? Depends also our mind. It's what kind activity, more experience. Go that direction, very much easy. Okay? Like that. Okay. Now we're going to read this book. It is very powerful, very benefit. It's very, very special benefit book, okay? We said Buddha, Manjushri, Thara, Avalokiteshvara, they all practice like that, this kind of mind. Generate that kind of mind. Then you more practice, then you become Buddha. Okay? Who like to become Buddha? Everyone, right? Okay? But in order to Buddha, you need to also practice like that much. Like who like to, maybe you already, professor. Who like to become professor? You need to like do the job, study like that kind of level, right? You cannot, I'm the professor. No one accepts you. Like that, the doctor, you are the very famous, operation doctor. You cannot say, I want doctor like that. It doesn't work. You need to also like study or education like their level, then you become doctor. Same. Buddha? Yes. You need to study, we need to study, practice more like that. Okay? Then every day, just read this, his own Dalai Lama always said, do this as a daily practice. Sometimes, special like me, monks, they have so many commandments, we receive so many initiations, we have so many commandments, But just really, Tibetan called Kandon. Kam is mouth, don't say, right? Like mouth say, we don't really have to time to think about the meaning, just finish. Right? Therefore, his Holiness always said, try to this is like your daily practice. Read again and again. Okay? This is very important. It's also we are very fortunate, like able to study like that. I'm really also, I already told you guys before, I'm not talking about you're a very fortunate person to study with me. I'm not talking about that. That one time that one Tibetan Lama, he's giving some session. Then he said, you guys are very fortunate person. You can get this session from me. I'm very unfortunate person. I never get any session this text. It's complete contradict. In order to give the other people to initiation, you have to receive the full initiation. But he said, I never get the initiation. You are a very fortunate person. You can get the initiation from me. It's no character, but I'm not talking about that. You are a very fortunate person to study with me, not like that. You know, we're very fortunate, you know, be able to study like this book. You know, like you really generate this kind of mind, 100% sure you are really changed person. But a relaxed person. Everyone like to relax? Right? Relax, right? Relax good, right? No complaint. It's good, right? Because we don't like someone complain, right? Are you guys like someone complain you? Are you happy? Therefore, other people doesn't like also we complain them. Like that. Therefore, you really generate that kind of mind. You will never complain. Okay? Therefore, now we are the verse 15. Shloka Chongadin, was? Then Diga and Shanchu Sangita, Eva Shimmer, Shana Shanchu Sangata, Eva Pemmo.
So, verse 15 explains about the different kinds or different division of bodhicitta.
And the tire Shanchu Samla Shana Peguni and you should turn you.
And so there, it talks about the different kind of bodhicitta in terms of when it's generated or which level you are at and so forth. So here it explains 22 different kind of bodhicitta in terms of the examples. And also in terms of the boundary, or the level, there are also 4 different types. And then from the way it's generated, it's divided into 3 different divisions. And in terms of the entity, there are 2 different kinds. And in terms of this subtlety, there are also 2 different kinds. So in this verse 15, it says, in brief, this spirit of awakening is known to be of 2 kinds: the spirit of aspiring for awakening, the spirit of venturing towards awakening. So this explains the 2 different kinds of bodhicitta in terms of the nature or entity. Okay. So in short, all kinds of bodhicitta can be included in these 2 types of bodhicittas. Okay. So we don't have to go through all different kinds of divisions of the bodhicitta. So if you are interested, then you can look into different books that explains about that. So in terms of the subtlety, or in terms of subtle growth, and you're talking about the 2 types of bodhicitta. Those are the conventional bodhicitta and ultimate bodhicitta. So the ultimate bodhicitta is the wisdom relies in emptiness directly within the continuum of Arya Bodhisattva. And the actual bodhicitta, within the continuum of the Bodhisattva, is the conventional bodhicitta. And those 2 can be also called the 2 collections. So the 2 collections are the collections of merit and collection of wisdom. So by accumulating those 2 collections of the merit and wisdom, you can achieve state of full enlightenment. The collection of merit is referring to the merit, and the collection of wisdom is referring to the wisdom. So by accumulating the merit and wisdom, then you can achieve the state of full enlightenment. Okay. And so the collection of merit doesn't necessarily have to be bodhicitta. It can be any other kind of practice also, like the practice of generosity, observing morality, and so forth. are also included in the collection of merit.
아니 이식이 소세대 만중문에 다 개와다 득백의 폐 시백의 다 그리고 혈압 다 연대이도 다 되네로 랍쪽을 해서
So the the collection of the wisdom, is the knowledge, of the analytical and mind, that is able to distinguish between what is good, what is bad, what is virtuous, what is non-virtuous, and so forth.
pero ngado leka jelewa ina ngado leka legi ngado lokane tundi도 고로 와서 대 레싱에 가로 혈압 되고 고요 와서 이제 맨나 tun디 주어야 와지 코 제당 야고 마지나 가지도 전에 콜레가 들고 말아 와서 tun디 디 혈압 되나 야 콜레가 마지나 내가 들고 말아 와서
So in order to do the work, you have to know how to do the work, right? If you don't know how to do the work, you won't be able to do it, even if you have a very strong effort to do the work. If you have the strong effort, but if you don't know the way to do the work, if you don't have that wisdom which knows the way to do the work, then you won't be able to do it. So you need both the effort and wisdom.
주제가 저도 내가 지원때 그거를 왔어.
Is it like that? Do you need those two in order to do your job?
Right? Any kind of job, you need both, right? Action and wisdom. If you have action, you have no wisdom, you just whole day spend something, you doesn't done all day try to. If you have wisdom, you are not action, just you're a very lazy person. You didn't done anything, right? Therefore, wisdom and action, right? Wisdom and action both very important, okay? For example, we have fly, we need two wings. Driving, we need two wings. There any one wheel to bicycle, right? Some very special. Some people are very special. Most, we need two wheel. Two what's it? Two wheel. Two wheel or two wheel or two legs. If we have no two legs, we cannot walk, right? Even if we have problem our leg, and we need something to stick. Therefore, example, so
by accumulating these two collections, the collection of merit and wisdom, one will be able to achieve state of full enlightenment.
Okay? What is 아니 돈이 도벨로들라 된도 셈시스 대지 상식으로라 아니 군도 셈실라 말해 다 대니 냠살라 말해 상식고 토클라고 그래서
So the bodhicitta and the general bodhicitta that we talk about, is the conventional bodhicitta, and the wisdom that lies in emptiness within the continuum of Arya Bodhisattva is the ultimate bodhicitta. So by practicing these two, one can achieve state of full enlightenment.
Okay, 근데 땅에 예와서래 자랑 로그에서 나도 뒤져도 가야 돼서 계속 양심만 소소 도나요나 아니 따다 레라고 하고 그래서 와.
So if you, we're not going to, like I said, we're not going to go through all the divisions, all the details about the divisions, different kind of divisions. But if you're interested, you can look around and you'll find it easily.
And this
one is actually explained in the ornament of clear realization. In the first chapter of the ornament of clear realization.
Is that translated in English? I think so, yeah. If you like to study, you can study more than otherwise we go. Okay, then 다 들으셔도 간도 군도 수지 시작이었어요. 와 대다서도 군도 수지 이거는 군도 수지.
So among these two, the ultimate bodhicitta and the conventional bodhicitta, now we're talking about is conventional bodhicitta.
근데 다 대량고 가는 다 대량고 거네 땅고네 그 소리 가는 아니 멤버 셉시던 주바듯이 니어래 들어와.
So to this bodhicitta, in terms of the nature or entity, there are two divisions. Those are the aspiring bodhicitta and engaging bodhicitta.
Okay. In order to take away all the Shantideva Sem's Kaniji Savannah, Yenji tendo Yanto was Sanji Tomdoji, the bar, not Sudeji, that Tendiga Samsuji.
And so in order to understand more about that, you have to know what is bodhicitta, right? What is the actual bodhicitta? So the bodhicitta so the actual bodhicitta, is the a mind, concomitant, to the aspiration to achieve aspiration, to achieve the state of full enlightenment for the sake of other sentient beings.
Okay? Then he shall some jella jewala category and the Lassam said go.
So the mind that is concomitant, with the aspiration in order to, the concomitant, to the aspiration that seeks, to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of others. And so that, in order to generate that mind, you have to have the superior intention first.
아니 대가나 아니 삼지 담조고는 산지 고부터도 대토와 나라게 제거도 랑선 드릴 섬치라고 그래서.
So the superior intention, is the the intention, to benefit others, and not just wishing to benefit others, but taking the responsibility upon oneself, to benefit others.
그냥 이 아무나 로바 제거도 이나 조바데 나라랑게 제거도 된다고 그래서.
So it's just like thinking I need to help my mother, and I need to help my mother by myself, like that.
Okay, 대용화라 딩해라 아니 니제 제거 그래서.
And in order to have that thought, superior intention, taking the responsibility upon oneself, to help others, one has to have, the wish, wanting others to be free from suffering, which is compassion.
Okay, then compassion. Then compena 수수 아마라 강에라고 예와이나 강에도 trandigilo 되고 그러고.
So if you have the compassion, then that will help you to generate the mind that wishes others to be free from suffering.
Okay. 근데 이다 다 딩하나야 잠바고 그래서. 근데 심지어도 이제 대화를 단대지로 오고 그래서.
And then before that, you need a loving kindness, which is a mind wanting others, to be happy all the time.
맛이 진짜 주소. 용어상바. 대라 용어상바 심지어도 이것도 오니 다대 대화를 단대지로 오고 그래서.
And so for that, the loving kindness, you have to see all sentient beings as being very attractive to oneself, just like one is attracted towards one's mother or towards one's child.
Okay, 맛이 진짜 주소 용어상바. 딩해야 근데 대화는 싫어 아니 밤에 까리 되고 그래서. 맛이 진짜 주소로 와래. 주소. 아니 주소인데 요 상바고 그래서.
And so before that, before you can see before you'll be able to see all sentient beings as being very attractive to you and wanting them to be happy, or possessed with the happiness all the time, you have to have this thought wanting to repay their kindness.
대용을 딩한다는 전쟁고 그러더라.
And in order to have this thought wanting to repay their kindness, you have to have the mind that remembers, that knows that remembers or recollects their kindness.
대용을 딩한다 삼지 봐줘 상황 수수 많이 받대 하고 그래서.
So in order to remember that under their kindness, you have to be able to see them as your own mother. You have to be able to see all sentient beings as your own mother.
당도 시에서래 삼지 차당 강소 마 제녀를 주소 켈라도 소리래.
So will you be able to accept, if someone says, all sentient beings have been your mother?
It's hard, right? No, I have only one mom. 이번에 다된 가노서 하모고 그랬어. 나도 라기로 들어와. 나도 깨와 토마요 말. 나도 거 같이 나도 다 남배 주는 시야다. 나도 깨와 토마요 말라 그랬어. 가딘 거 좋아도 라요 말했어.
So it will make sense if we understand, the previous lives, right? So when we talk about the previous life, there's no beginning, of the previous life.
나도 여러 나타 뭔가 밤 아마도 그렇게 나한테 고토가 나도 라기로 왔어.
So most of the time, what we think is that we just started from this life. This is the only mother or father we have.
Right? 대인바 옛날 저런 그 수보대 가딘 고토가 나 저런 고토에 왔어.
So if that's the case, then can you think about when your body started? Where your body began from?
What do you think? When we start our body first, what do you guys think? This life? Your body starts this life? Yeah. When beginning your body?
When the egg is joined.
So your body, this body that you have now, of course you say, it started from this life, right? From this life. But then, what Geshe was trying to say is that this body came from your mother's, your parents' sperm and egg, right? And then where did that come from their body? And where did their body come from? So they're like your grandparents, egg and sperm. And then from where did that come from? And so if you go back like that, it will be hard to trace, all the way to the beginning. Can you go back like that? So is it possible to accept that? So that also science also says that our body came from our parents, sperm and egg, right? Is that right? So that's because that's why they when they talk about the disease in our body, and they say, do your parents have any kind of disease like that, or your grandparents and so forth, right?
They all accept right? That they cheap paris, Ganaso telling a same dog, like Marians, I'm Marian. I'm John, I'm Cat, I'm Fiona, right? We all have that. The next telling us to same dog, and there's something dog. Now Fiona, Fiona same dog, now Fiona and some identify, telling us to same dog. Then this same day, Kasama Sam Kenya to Pa, Tewana, Toma Yagmar is lovers.
Some of the same matters.
Fiona is something. They Fiona Marwa. The next something to the same number was.
So a mind thinking that I'm Fiona. That's not Fiona, right? That's a mind. That's a thought. That's not Fiona. That's a thought. So that thought, there's no beginning, to that thought. So that thought can be from that thought. Today's thought came from yesterday and the day before yesterday, and then the day before yesterday, like that.
Right? Kesaki Fiona, Mena Tiring Fiona, try your mother.
And also there's a continuum of Fiona. If yesterday's Fiona was not there, that cannot be today's Fiona.
Good. You okay, Fiona? It's good. You are the object of describe for the
So about using the example of for describing the past and future lives.
That's good. Anyway, think about that. Yeah, yes.
Sorry, may I repeat back what I heard you say so I make sure that I'm on the right track with you? So when you first started talking about, seeing other people as your mother and your father, I thought of having other people kind of, see them as the caring people who take care of you. But then as you continued on, I'm kind of hearing you say that to see other people as part of the continuum of who we are as people, because we're all interconnected in some way, and I'm not sure if I'm hearing what you're saying correctly, and that's what I heard.
So it's not saying that we just, we are connected. Of course, in some way we are related in that way, in that sense. But what Geshe is trying to say is that trying to prove that all sentient being has been our mother. So that's what we have to understand first. Is how sentient beings have been our mother. So and we can't just say, oh, sentient beings have been your mother, and just live like that, and people accept. That's not possible, right? So you have to explain to them how sentient being has been your mother. And so these are all the ideas, trying to prove that sentient beings have been our mother. And so, so how you been your mother, how they've been your mother. So in this life, you have only one mother. In the previous life, then there was another mother. Then the previous life, there was another mother. So like that, when you count, that way you can prove that all beings have been your mother. You can't give an example of one being who have not been your mother. Yeah? So therefore, therefore to think that all sentient beings has been our mother is correct. And if they haven't been your mother and you say, oh, they've all been your mother, then that's incorrect. That's a mistaken thought. And if that is the case, if it is false, if it's false that all sentient beings has been our mother, then there's no way we can generate bodhicitta. Then there's no way we can achieve enlightenment.
Okay. 단다치랑 같이 제녀는 그 록셔 말아. 단다가 티네지 이제는 록셔로 왔어.
So at some point you were teenagers, right? And so to think that you were at some point teenagers is okay, it's correct mind. But to think that you are teenagers now is incorrect mind.
Right? Are you teenager? No, right? Are you well?
Have you been?
Have you been teenager? Yes, right. That's not wrong. 대대 집아 샘제 차상 가도 말해라나 말아. He's not my wife's not my mom, right? My husband is not my mom. It's like what's that? 나도 갑자기 나도 리바노도 왔어. 내가 마 제영화에 파 제영화나 고타리 못 담당도 왔어.
So we always say that sentient beings have been our mother. We don't say sentient beings are my mother, of this life. Of course, so it cannot be, right? There can be only one, and there are so many different sentient beings. You can't have your father or your mother, and your brother or sister or your husband or wife be your mother, at the same time. Cannot be, right?
Right. But 텐데 고와차와라 개왕 하시는데 빽깔이 가오래 해서 와. 아, 딱 좀 당고 해서 와.
But have they been your mother? Yes. Even your husband, even your wife, even your brother, your sister, your a son has been your mother at one point in previous lives. So that's how we think, and that way we can prove that all sentient beings have been our mother. So that's first, step, to understand towards generating bodhicitta.
답변이 가도라 나변아 가도 수보대 강사 셴바지네 개와 셴바지네 영화도 캔을 토고도 대접 토고도 또 레라오도 와서.
So just like we can prove that our body came from someone else, right? Not just one person, but then we can trace back all the way to the beginning.
그래서 당 아주 뭐 토마 가디시 않는 대방한테 대적으로 들어와.
So we can start, we can trace it all the way to the beginning of human beings.
I don't know when beginning human being, okay? 다 되는 당 아주 토마다 있다. 아주 샘세지 아주 강사세야. 여기서 뭐 피어나. 단다 피어나 가서 따셔 봐. 다 먹고 뭐 피어나 말아 왔어. 좀 little baby로 봉 주지들 봐. And
so now there's a person, right? Talking about the person, like Fiona. Fiona, is not Fiona from beginning. She became Fiona after she was named Fiona, right? First, she was born as a baby, and if she was already Fiona, then we should say, oh, Fiona was born at that time. No, it was not. It was just a baby. After some time, then they said, okay, we're going to name her Fiona.
강사세나 샘세다 다디 가디 부모들이 가디 냠도 차서 오는 가지 파만 냠도 지 트링가로 가지 것도 다 배잖아 차다다 뭐 소용으로 왔어.
And so how this mind and body came into be together is in the process of the conception. Right? So when the baby was conceived, at that time the consciousness entered the body. So it's explained like that in the the scriptures, how the baby is conceived. By entering the consciousness into the womb and so forth.
그래서 다대 샘디 가리쇼래 시대 샤워래서 그러지 레어 다대 빼깔 가오서 봐.
And so how did the mind happen to be there in the inside the egg and sperm, right? And so it's very difficult to explain with the example how it really happened to come into the mind, come into the egg and sperm.
그러와 아니 대야 보여도 부모여도 가지 시대 샤워를 들어와.
And then what decides what kind of gender you're going to be born with? So you're going to be a male or female, a boy or girl. What are you going to be? Who decides that?
근데 저 아시아제도 아프리카제도 인디아제도 별제도 시대 살 들어와서.
And what caste you're going to be born as? Which what race you're going to be born as? Which country you're going to be born in? And so for all this, it's difficult to explain. But there is a cause or reason for that.
그러와 근데 임바 인자 다 나도 두지 팔라바나 근데 다 남시 담보 슝이데 슝이데 꼭 딱스 요나 가도 켈레 도문도 와서 간지 내라 그 다지 그더 용해져라 고 범자 가도 최근에 범 나지 지하로 말해 봐서 범이 최근에 그 바와디야 영화래 이게 우다 쳐도 자나 고거로 와서 대체 봐도
So how did it happen? Then how did the consciousness of that person or baby enter into the womb, right? How did that happen? Did it just happen just like that without any cause and condition? It cannot be, right? There has to be some cause and conditions. So even like a bubble, that forms, the wave or the bubble that forms on the water. and has a cause and condition. We think just, oh, it just popped up like that, right? We normally think like that, but there is a condition, right? The water has to be there, and then the air has to come in. Otherwise, it will not form the bubble. Is that the bubble is formed filled with the air? Is it? Right. So it has to have all these different conditions for it to form.
그래서 다 나서서 남부시대 레사가 슈치부셔서 레사지로. 아니 레지 왕기 아니 딱 가자 가와 포다 뭐 가와 같은 거 겨우체는 그러더라.
So it all depends on, so what we're going to be born as, where we're going to be born, what race we're going to be born in, and so forth. It all depends on our karma.
다들 네 레드 스위치 와서 레드 칭행 가는 소리 했어.
And then who created that karma? It's ourselves.
Okay. 배 차샤나 된리 레사 가지 미 많도마들 니바지 메와이나 배나 파이 데라 껴메와지 마이 데라 껴메와지 가디는 냠도는 부기 차게 차와 열어 요 말이 왔어.
So so some people they cannot have baby, even though despite that there's no problem with their sperms or eggs, right? There's nothing wrong with that at all, but they couldn't have baby.
근데 요래.
Is there cases like that?
Do you guys heard that, right? This science always checking, right? 다 가르치잖아요. 가르치는 부기 깨먹는 가서 배도 가서 아마라 부기 쪼여 그래서 부기. 근데 부기 먹어 부기 마들이 그래서 다 가르치는 부기 쳐 요말 가르치는 그래서.
So some people they want to have baby but they couldn't have, and they go and check, and there's nothing wrong, in their sperms or eggs. There's nothing wrong. And they still couldn't have. And there are some people they don't want to have any more babies. They have so many babies, but they don't want any more, and they keep having.
Right.
Like Geshe said, his mother had 10 children.
She doesn't want like that so many kids, but they keep going. 근데 이제 다 데려야 가르치면 그 레기 바쳐서 그는 근데 레디게 저와도 공유도 말 때문에 가르면 가지 않고 부용고 말했어.
And so there has to be some karmic connection, right? Karmic connection with the consciousness, of the person who's going to conceive in mother and father's womb, mother's womb, have to have connection. So if you don't have that connection, and no matter how much you try, you'll not be able to make a baby.
What the science explain, 베나 바다 많이 들어 겸해 가지 보이고 답시는 보이면서 가르쳐라도 공부 가르라 그랬어.
So how does science explain to that? Just that there's no problem in mothers and fathers, sperms and eggs, but they couldn't have baby.
다 가르마상 그랬어.
What did they say? Science. What did they say is missing?
What did they say? Do you hear anything? Yeah, I'm sure they say something. Maybe they don't know what happened.
That's some kind of a hormone, don't they?
Huh?
I guess it's some kind of a hormone.
Hormone.
Or something internally that they don't stick, or I don't know the technical terms.
What is hormone exactly?
I think they might just say it's luck.
Unlock.
Unlucky.
Yeah.
It's also, they say it's in the mind too, that sometimes it's in the mind, that there's nothing wrong with you physically,
Yeah.
but you're just stopping yourself for some reason.
Stress.
The poor countries. The poor countries. They know, they do know.
Subject.
Poor countries.
So send some about it.
And then Jacob told us some of the similar issues.
So maybe in terms of the stress, people in a poor country, they're more relaxed, right? More babies.
Well, the India, the poor India, they have so many kids, right? They everyone some excuse, but now because any cool Pama tell a keg less some ever in that, and the poor keg maris. Pama Nigala put Pama must let me want you maris.
So the cause, for having the baby is the karma, the karma that one has created, and the karma that one has connection with the child who's going to be born in your family. So you have to have that. Without that, you cannot have. The other things are all just conditions.
When tell them 부모들라 야 부고티가 아마서야 파테라 야 부고티가 빠와서 대니 양가고 부고티야 코니 빠와말 차야 그래 차는 거기서 봐.
And so the karma is, when you think in that way, it's very complicated. But it's very plenty also, because you have created all sorts of karma, and you have connection with all sorts of people, right, in many different ways. So it's very possible to happen. But when you like break down into the one or two, then it's very difficult to happen, almost like impossible to happen. So for the child to be born as a child in that family, it has to have connection with both parents. And the both parents have to have a common connection with the child, karmically. The karmic connection, common karmic connection with the child to have that person as their child in their life. So all this karma has to be there, on top of other sperm and eggs and so forth.
jamguram boshige da na theriga thodi la song song sirwa theriba de theriba kodra Geshe Tenley yes and pama nigi da ti dela kyumewa yena and pu jaja chawe chagar wa and kodu chaga mar la song tiga lende seji tablola migma to shu chimbo je tengyo res.
And he's also asked this question in the science conference to the scientists. So he said, if there is nothing wrong in the substance of the father and mother, the sperm and egg, the substance of the father and mother, and is it guaranteed? Is it 100% guaranteed that the parents will have a child? It's not, right? And so that that shows there's something strong behind that, which is the karma that's needed in order for the child to be conceived in the mother and father without any problems in their substances.
Right? Penang anzo pama chile puni wachi. Pame sotang chiba chi yang labda chiba chi na ya china kuni langwa kaka ro was. Karchinare.
And then also it depends on their karma, what they're going to become, right? What they're going to become in their life. And even though they are born in the same family, they are brought up in the same way, sent to the same college, same school, but then later when they grow up, they become different. They become different in terms of the level of knowledge, the success, and all these things. So easily we just say, it's their luck, right? The person who become more educational, more successful in his career is lucky.
So
then there is a further question to that. Why did he become lucky and why did he become lucky?
Therefore, Buddhism, that karma is very kind for us. We can answer everything that. No? Okay? Okay, like now we are not talking that. Today the Tatana goes to two some of the today the only symptom of Susu Machi Washina and the Machi Gadinte and the Mat and the Che Manu and the Susu Ropa, Susu Namizo, Machi Manu and the Susu Kadichimba and the Kudrata Kadichenga, Telena Machi to the Washima Jichimbo, showing the get over the Lavares.
And so that's how we prove that there was a past life, right? So the mind of this consciousness and this mind of this body, and this person didn't come, from this life, but it came from the previous life. So and then that mind came from previous life. So when you go back like that, there's beginningless. There's no beginning, to where the mind started from. And so during all this time, when you were born as such and such kind of being, you had a mother, right? Mostly, like if you were born from womb or in an egg, then you had a mother. And so you definitely had a mother. So there's so all these infinite lives that you had infinite beings who've been your mother. And so there isn't any beings who have not been your mother. You can't point and say, oh, this one has not been my mother. So so in that way, it can be proved that everybody has been your mother. So you have to think that way. So think of that, and then with that reason, then think of all being as having been your mother. And so first you understand that. Then once you understand that they have been your mother, then during the time when they've been mother, they've been very kind to you, right? So you remember their kindness. And so they gave you birth, they brought you up, they took care of you and so forth. So you remember their kindness. And then now, because they have been very kind to you, so you think of repaying their kindness. And then in order to have that thought, and then with that thought to repay the kindness, then you see all sentient being as your a mother, attractive, attractive or very pleasant, like your mother. And all beings like that. Nobody is unattractive or ugly and so forth. Right? So everybody thinks like that. And then you want them to be happy. And then you think about their situation and wish them to be free from the suffering, which is compassion. And then you take the responsibility upon yourself, to do that all for them by yourself, which is the superior intention. And then when you see that, oh, there's no way I can do it by myself. So in order to do that, I have to become Buddha. So when you have that thought, wanting to become Buddha, to benefit sentient beings, then that's called bodhicitta.
Okay? Yes.
Are we allowed to ask, is it okay if we ask a question?
Oh, of course, we are open, any question, okay?
What would you tell somebody whose mother was not very good to them?
어떤 때까지 용었을 때, 때까지 용었을 거야. 아니, 다 아마 뭐라는 게 있지, 샘컴당, 아니 깡에는 던데기 차다, 간지 던데, 용거를 해, 간지까지 용거를 했어. 옛날 다 나도 마다 용하지는 나도 마다 야 쓰고로 왔어.
던데를 가려고 했어. 던데를.
던데다 다 간지 던데 용한테 간지 야 마다는 거는 그 쌈촌이 돼 말했어. 야 마들라야 보고 됐더니 소총 지야다. 들이치 니빠도 매봐인데 양들 누가 용거를 용쓰기로 했어. 쌈신도 말했어.
그래, 다 코너도 아마 제발은 다 가르친 두자 제어라서 두자에 나다 코너도 즉 초진의 두자 제어는 초신나냐 야부시오시라.
지 두자 제와데 간지 뭐랑 딱 보라나 뭐란다 서는 대 대표 제기 니빠 차상 매봤지. 아니 뭐라에 용모 두섬지 영화데 쳤네. 아니 자세다 다 잡주 제 마도 대랑아도 라 그랬어.
So, it depends on how you think of someone who is your mother that has been very bad to you. Like just like Geshe mentioned before, there was one girl. She said, she told Geshe that she doesn't like her mother. She cannot think of all such beings as being mother and love them because her mother was very bad to her. And then Geshe said, just think about the fact that she kept you, in her womb for 9 months. Yeah. And then she gave birth. She went through all that hardship to give you birth. So just that fact defeats all other purpose, to hate her. So that's just that. That's very extremely kind. So of course there are some cases, that's just because mother didn't give you money, you can hurt her. Just because mother scolded you because you did something bad, you can hurt her. It's just like that. That's not a good reason to not like the mother. But there's very strong reason to think about her kindness, her to like her and to think about her kindness by the fact that she kept, you in her womb for 9 months, went through all that hardship to give birth to you.
던지기 때와데 매나 아니 보고 당고 차는 대상은 매워서 저거도 왔어.
So if she didn't care about you, she didn't have compassion and love for you, then she could have just killed you in the womb, right?
Right.
Aborted you, and in the womb. She could have done that, but she didn't do that. So just that itself, shows that she's been very kind to you.
이난 삼도 들이치는 연구를 들이치는 연구도 양 그 막연히 말해서 양 단대 가지 먹어도 제와나 양가 먹어도 야지 소중시하게 니바다 대문도 들이도 다 콜랑강인 태월에 니 야고도 사민이지 양 대도 제게 올수.
So some people, they do the abortion not because they hate the child, but they think that I'm not in a situation to be able to take care of the child. If the child is born, then the child will suffer, too, also I myself will suffer and so forth. So because of that, it's better to end it now here. They think like that, right? So with that thought, they do it. So it's not completely negative, But of course, there are some cases where they just don't want to, they don't care, and then they just abort it. So it depends on how they do that.
Okay, now we go stop here. Okay, that's what we take. Any members in Juba,
And then verse 16 explains the difference between the spirit of aspiring for awakening and the spirit of venturing towards awakening.
아니 대니기 제와도 갔나 아니 다 샘제 담중도 산지 토모 톱고 누 삼게들로들라 아니 멤버들이라 그래. 대 토약 쳇도 속서 들어와서 많은데 꼬라져 로조치게들라 주바들이라 그래 들어와.
And so the first one, which says that a mind wanting to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. It says, I must achieve state of full enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. That mind, is the wishing or aspiring for awakening, right? And then with that thought, it's okay. So I must achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, and for that, I'm going to engage in this practice, of reciting the prayers or circumambulating the stupa, making prostration, making offerings, and so forth. So when you do that, then that becomes the engaging bodhicitta or venturing towards awakening.
Okay, 다 주된 바디가 아니 멤버십지가 아니 배에도 송거들어와.
And then the verse 17 explains the benefits of the spirit of aspiring for awakening.
그래서 멤버십지에 저당 아니 주바세질했다나 아니 가로 배에 다 같이 모여 말해 들어와. 아니 손님들 세야 좋아요 들어와.
And so this the wishing bodhicitta, right? So in terms of when you compare with the engaging bodhicitta, then the merit is not that much. Because it can be exhausted at some point. And so then the verse 18 and 19 explains the benefits of the engaging bodhicitta.
아니 다 뒤남내서 샹제 샘체 남러와 아니 코알에 조아셔베 쳐도 아니 다 될 못도에 주바선비 제와 옛나 아니 디 징이 미디 니 크다와 아니 셈바 야로와다 아니 가르쳐봐나 아니 겨와다 쯤어쳐 주거래서.
And so once, from the time that you have generated this engaging bodhicitta, which is a wish, wanting to achieve enlightenment for benefit of all sentient beings, and with that thought, engaging in practices, once you have generated that, then anytime, whatever you do, all the time you're creating merit all the time. Whether you are sleeping, walking, eating, or whatever you're doing, you're creating merit all the time.
그러와 아니 대연바의 쇼가 뉴스 봐서 대는 대바타제 봐 남성근의 슈발레 메모 셈제 대시 대시 샤바니지 송딱 산지 좀 되는 거 송와래 라장시빈도 지금은 라장세도 송와래 들어.
And so just so that one is quoted in the text. Yeah? So the Subha Upasha, and that so that is the kind of the text to support this reason. It says that Tathagata himself quite gently asserted in the Subha Upasha for the sake of beings who are inclined towards the lesser vehicles.
아니 니시타지다 짠이니게 다 아니 주바세 지금 번역도 송거서 봐. 샘지 찍어되면 레바가 배는 나사로 찍사야게 제대 변도된데 요반다 다 샘지 탐 센지레 센지란 탐매와 센지레 텐서는 당고는 판 빠드면 바래 다배 여드면 기존 지고 말이세요.
And so verse 21 and 22 explains the benefits of the engaging bodhicitta. So engaging bodhicitta is the mind wishing to achieve enlightenment for the benefit. With that thought, then you engage in the practice, right? And so whatever you do accumulates merit by doing that. So, like for example, like if you think about the pain of a brain of a single person, a brain in a single person, and you do something to help that person. You do something, right? With the wish to help that person. If you do something, then that accumulates immeasurable merits. And so if you accumulate immeasurable merit just by thinking like that, towards one beings, then how much merit you'll be creating if you have that kind of thought towards all sentient beings.
아니 내려다 아니 로지시야 로지도 시험 마셔 그죠. 아니 더 보면 써야지 되는 거 다. 내가 안에 모란기야 아니 오케이. That one story. 아니 가지 가로. 당연히 야갈 소바죠 그래서 와. 아니 소바디 빠와데 종어지 아니 빠와데 jansunalaya 아니 노벨을 가지고는 종어치 말했어. 아니 다 아마 되게 보대야 좀 같은 로그를 해서 아니 보대라 총수주들 잡히는 샤샤 말했어.
So there's a story related to this. There was this a businessman who went in the ocean to collect jewels, and on his way to collect the jewels he died there. And then the wife who had a son, their son, and the wife fearing that he will do the same thing and will lose his life. So she just didn't tell him about the business that his father was doing, and instead just made him to do small businesses.
아니 슈마 아니 계제 되어다 내 바와 가지 내 바 야나 바와 들어가 가르치나 보이들 정말 우수들이 제거를 와.
So as some of you might know that the trade that father used to do is followed by the son also in India. That was the custom in India at that time. So then when he grew up, he asked his mother, what did my father do? So he wanted to do the same thing as his father.
아니 미셈범 아니 가르나 미셈버서 람도 저랑 바와 잠도나라야 나우송자 그리 저 수주들이 잖아 빼래서 고 샬레들 잡아서 왔어.
So the other people teased him, saying that, oh, your father was a very big businessman and he used to go in the ocean to collect jewels and do big business, but you're doing some very small businesses. So they teased him and kind of looked down on him.
아니 다 아메 아니 아말게자 아니 아메게 땅에만 저랑 바와 누스래 된. 다 저랑은 야 보여 말이야. 아니 야 되니 강에 다시 간지 되니 용거를 해서 되니 다 아메 간지 마당 말했어. 아메 저랑 로무셔 마당 말했어.
And so that mother, said that, oh, because your father had this tragedy, so I don't want you to go through that. That's why I don't want you to do that kind of business, and therefore, I prohibit, I prohibit you from going to the ocean to do this business. So the son, like he was like very forcing, to go, and mother said, no, you cannot go, and then she just lie down on the floor, to not let him go. And so in India, like that was big, thing, to like step over somebody's body, and especially the head part, it's even worse, right? So, but she just lie down on the hallway, but he didn't care. He just, step over her head and walk away to do the business. So whatever the merchant he had, he took that with him, like animals and things, and then he went to the ocean, to collect the jewels. And so usually, they follow the animals, they follow the smell, right, and follow their path, through the smell. But because of the karma that he was to lose, his cow or the bull that was pulling his cart was not able to follow the smell, and he got lost. And so he found himself at the desert, and with a very big iron house. And so in that iron house, and he saw, when he went inside, he saw a person standing there, and there was a wheel and a spinning on his head, and the poke, the wheel was like on his head, and it was spinning on his head, and the brain were like splashing all over the place. And then then he asked the person, what happened to you? What caused you to become like this? And then he said, when I was young, I didn't listen to my mother. I stepped on her head, and this is the result, and ripening result of that action. And then he remembered, he said, alas, and I did the same thing to my mom. And then the moment he thought, then there's another wheel came, and then spin on his head. So at that time, then he had this a sympathy towards all the beings, who had created same kind of negative karma. It says, may all beings, who have created this kind of karma, may my experiencing this suffering be adequate to purify all their negative karmas. So the moment he thought, like that, for the sake of others, the will disappeared. So just by having that thought, very strong thought, wanting others to be free from the suffering, and they says, by my experience, may this suffice, thus experiencing of the suffering of all other beings, and may they be free from this kind of suffering. So with that thought, but just by having that thought, even for a short moment, all his negative karmas were purified, and got rid of the sufferings.
Okay, then
and so this is what so he says, a well-intentioned person who thinks, I shall eliminate the headache of sentient beings, bears immeasurable merit.
Okay, usually this is a very long story. I just will try to short, combine. Maybe you guys find also that maybe go to the website someplace. Okay? 근데 이제 다 간다 상주고 섬사도 뱀 무슨 게 심지 찌기치도 삼 당와나 되나. 심지 타입이치도 다른 건데 빠데면 빠데 들어봐.
So this is the benefits of the bodhicitta when you think about others. Even if you think about one person, it has a great benefit. Then how much benefit is there if you think of all the sentient beings?
Okay. Okay. There are other questions. Yes.
Just the beginning when Geshe said the ultimate bodhicitta is within the continuum of an Arya Bodhisattva, is conventional bodhicitta also for Arya Bodhisattva, or just the Bodhisattva?
No. The conventional bodhicitta doesn't have to be only in the Arya Bodhisattva, in the Bodhisattva also.
Okay. Any other questions? No questions? Yeah.
I don't know if it was intended, but I think when you're talking about developing bodhicitta, you have to see the kindness of all beings, and then said that the only way to see the kindness was to see all beings as having been your mother. But I was just wondering, there's also the equalizing, exchanging self with others, and if there's one other method for also seeing the kindness of all sentient beings, like seeing that you can't develop the realization of compassion without all sentient beings, so then you can't really, without that, you can't become enlightened yourself, and all the other Buddhas can't become enlightened.
So either way you are generating bodhicitta. So there's a two-way, right? The sevenfold cause and effect instruction, and then the other method is equalizing and exchanging yourself with others. So there are two ways of generating bodhicitta. For both ways, you need to be able to see sentient beings as your mother. So of course, that's one method. But if there is another way you can think of sentient beings' kindness, then you can use that. You don't have to see as mother. You can see as a father. You can see as a brother, sister, somebody who took care of you. If you think like that, yeah, definitely they have been your father also. Just like they have been your mother, they have been your father. Just like they have been your father, they have been your sister or brother, So you can think in that way also. So whichever way you can generate, the way to make you think about their kindness, that's fine. So for most cases, most of the people, it is mother who's been the most kind to them, right? For most of the people, of course, there are some who mothers not very very kind to them, but just like I said earlier, the fact that they've been they kept you in the womb and so forth is inconceivable. But anyway, so whatever way you can think of thinking of their kindness, then that's fine. So whatever way you can think of their kindness, that's fine. So even if we can just think of their kindness by thinking that they're all same, just like myself, they all want to be happy. Just like myself, they don't want to have any sufferings, and so and they have been very kind to me in different ways. So therefore, I want to help them. I want to repay their kindness, and for that, I want to do this. So you can think that way also. Yeah.
But the Buddha said, "When you think of the kindness, then you can think of the kindness of the Buddha." But the Buddha said, "When you think of the kindness of the Buddha, then you can think of the kindness of the Buddha." So the Buddha said, "When you think of the kindness of the Buddha, then you can think of the kindness of the Buddha." So you can think that way also. Yeah. Okay? Then? Yes.
The question about the conditions, the discussion about all the common conditions necessary to have, like, the conception of the next life, right, the baby. So, where does consciousness reside? Presuming, we have to have all these common conditions. So, before taking the form of rebirth, is the consciousness residing in somewhere? Is there a space that consciousness has not taken a rebirth yet?
So that's during the intermediate state. So it's in the intermediate state at that time, in the Pardo, yeah. So they don't have, like a physical form. It's like a wind. Their body is like a wind. So wherever they think, they will be there. So if you think of India, your mind think of India, you're already in India. So it's like that way he's searching for the parents, with whom he has a karmic connection. So it says 49 days is the longest. So it depends. The shortest can be a day, in the next moment. So if you are a very extremist, negative karma creator, then you can be born immediately. Soon after you die, immediately in the lower realm. Or if you have very strong positive karma, immediately to pure land like that. So it depends on that. And the longest he says is 49 days, 7 weeks. So then you can be, whatever karma you have created, and how you activate the karma at the time of death, depending on that. So it depends on that, and also many things. And depending on that, you'll be born as you can be born as a human being, or cow, animal, or helping, and whatever.
Okay. 아니 고도 개원냠도 쌓여와나 아니 시간을 계속 개와도 막 찍반으로 쌓잖아. 아니 시간을 아니 계속 만드잖아. 아니 그 개에 남는 매요. 아니 막개와 괜찮아. 막개와 남는 매요. 들이 적어서.
So it depends on how you die, with a negative thought or positive thought. So if you die with negative thought, then negative karma will be activated. If you die with positive thought, your positive karma will be activated, and you will have good rebirth. So what kind of thought you're going to have depends on what kind of thought you're more accustomed with. So whatever you're accustomed with, if you're always thinking about this thing, then you'll be thinking that thing, And it will be very hard, but it's not impossible. But it's very hard to think of otherwise. So whatever you think, normally, then that's the thought you're going to have at the time of that. And if that's happened to be positive, it will ripen the positive karma. If it has to happen to be the negative, then it will ripen the negative karma. And so therefore, right now, when we are still alive, it is important for us to accustom ourselves with the positive thought, so that we'll be able to die with positive thought.
Okay, yes?
Would it be fair to say that in the intermediate stage, one is only a body of accumulated karma, as there's no essential self?
You mean like sense of self?
In the intermediate stage,
Yeah.
would it be fair to say that one is only a body of karma, as there is no essential self?
Sense of self, you said?
Essential self, yes.
Sense of self, right?
Essential.
Essential self?
Yes.
Essential.
There's no essential self, is that correct? Anatta, anicca.
So that at that time, the person, a being, is still a being in that. Even if you're in this intermediate state, you're still a being. So you do have that I, thinking that I am, I'm doing this, I'm going here, I'm thinking like that. So that kind of thinking I the essential I is still there.
그래서 나 기월랭 것은 그 유대거든요.
So this is then because of that, then I say, oh, I have to be born, I have to take birth. Then he search around, go around, roam around to look for birth.
근데 이막이 딱 그냥 terra mambo 소소 과자샤셔도 돼. 나는 밤만 채워 있나? 근데 그때 기월랭이라고 그랬어.
And so then, depending on the karma that you have had, with the person who happens to, be at that time, copulating at that time, and then happen to have conceive at that. And so then when you find that, then you will be like able to conceive it.
Okay, but this kind of thing is very, very complicated because we really do not see that, right? It's hard to explain or understand. 나도 진짜가 나자도 야고 이것은 나한테 내려오는 거였어. 진짜가 나자세.
So if you understand the course of the cause and effect, really well, then it will make sense. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to understand.
Okay. Any other questions? Yes.
What about childless couples who adopt? They can't have children themselves, but they adopt.
Mm-hmm.
What's the current relationship between the parents and the child?
되게 거의 부기야기 아마추어에 사람이다. 부기대 조조시간에 사셨어.
So yeah, you don't have the karma to conceive, to conceive the child, but you have the karma to like raise the child. So from that, sense, you can be called as a mother and father. But you're not really like a birth mother, but you're a mother because you took care of the child.
아니 부기들이야 아마디 텔레케기 레사메다이나 아마디 딱으로 송이 보면
So the child also in the same, the child doesn't have the karma to be born from that mother, but it had a karma to be raised by that mother.
근데 산지 좀 된다 다나 말 주네 샤보되게 아마 고마도 송거렸어.
So like in the case of Buddha Shakyamuni, his birth mother died in the 7 days after he was born.
아니 야 조조쟁이디 아마 셴바지 셴거렸어.
And then his like kind of stepmother or aunt, so his aunt who became the queen and stepmother and took like raised him like a mother.
그런데 나보장에 그 나와 그 좋은 냐가 깔리자 말 못하시 소소 시간이 저 보고 나지 집어지자 되게 그랬어.
And so it's just that she didn't carry him in her womb for 9 months. Otherwise she regarded him as his own son, her own son all the time.
그래서 나도 나와 때 집어지자 했을 텐데 시행이 원도요나 소소 나와 그 냐야 말 못하시 소소 시간이 저 보고 나지 되게 부인은 아마 나지 뛰고 그랬지 되게 그랬어.
And so, here same, right? So even though you didn't give a birth, to a child, but because you raised the child since he was very young or infant, then, you have the love and care, towards the child, just like, you will have towards the child who was born from you. And then same with the mother, the child also sees the mother as the same way.
정말 간지 소소 조조쟁이 때까지 물어봤어.
So yeah, of course, someone who raised you, who took care of you, is very, very kind to you also, in the same way as your mother.
Okay? Yes?
Yeah. Mind exists because of the previous mind, the thought, because of the previous thought, and that way you're reborn. So mind existed before our inception, and exists after we pass away. I just wanted, that's so obvious.
쌤 다들 여기 쌤이 윤공은 여자 다들 여기. 쌤 윤공은 매번 다들 쌤이 여기. 다들 쌤이 다 먼저 나와가지고 와요. 아니 다 너 시상에 이거라.
이거 너무 싫은데 나도 치고 공부 잘하고 그랬어. 나도 싫어하고 그랬어. 공부 강남 싫어하고. 내가 쌤이 양한테 와서 많이 나오고 그랬어.
So yeah, that's true. The mind is like I said, there's no beginning of the mind. So there has to be there before even we were born, before our previous life, before our even previous lives. So that's there all the time. There's no beginning from since beginningless time. There's the mind there, and even after we die, we just leave the body behind. It will be buried or cremated, but our mind continues to exist. Go to the next life. Yeah. Everything. Yeah. Sure. That's same for everything. So now we are born, by the power of karma and delusion. Depending on our karma and the delusion, we are born as such and such being.
그래서 다 레야고 싸워이나 아니 간도 레냐 오게 먹어 자는 그래서.
And so once we have abandoned that, once we have abandoned the karma and delusion, then we'll not have to be born by the power of karma and delusion.
그냥 단단하서 봉보들 레냐고 봉보를 했던 고아래서. 간도 내 가디 있게 먹어 주는 간도 다좀 자는 그래서.
And so, so this body that we have now is the result of our karma and delusion. So because through the power of the karma and delusion, we are born as such and such being like that. So then when we don't have this karma and delusion anymore, and then after that we become a force destroyer, the arhat. You become arhat, a force destroyer, or someone who is free from all the sufferings. So we will not have that contaminated aggregate, which came from karma and delusion, so that body will be all free of sufferings.
Okay? 근데 이상 간도 간지 차선 상계야 요르서 간도 수도 내가 마치 하는 것도.
And so it's just that we didn't walk towards, otherwise we can all be enlightened or become Buddha.
Okay? Therefore we try to hard work every day. Okay. Okay, now we stop. Thank you. 도지체, thank you.
Turn to page 37, 36. Oh, sorry, 39. 39, yeah, 39. Saji Paki Shukshing Mei Chok Dram Ri Rab Ling Jin Ide Yen Padi Sangi Shing Du Mek Te O Wargi Droku Nam Dak Shing La Chupa Shok Jetsu Name Kut Se Rab Ten Ching Nam Katrin Le Chok Chu Gya Padang Lo Zang Ten Pedro Me Sa Sum Ki Dro We Mun Sal Tak Tu Ne Kyo Chi Idam Guru Ratna Mandala From my two collections, vast the space that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds' wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all my life's manjushri. May I find the best of complete graded paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by practicing. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I uphold Buddha's teachings for a very long time, with my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or once spread have declined. May I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time. By even this graded course to enlightenment completed, due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children, may all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. In that snow mountain encircled land, source of every benefit and joy, may Lord Tenzin Gyatso Chen Rezik remain in life till samsara's end. Dong Ning Ning Je Zung Du Juk Pelam Je Page 49, short long life prayer for Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Dup Tul Chang Jin Jang Gong Gyao Wei Tenzin Gyong Pao Wei Kun Zo Dog Po Ze Chok Som Kor Wei Lek Mun Tu Ru Pa Dak Sok Du Je Gun Du embodies all Buddhas. Your nature is that of Ajadara. You are the root of the three jewels. Homage to you, O Gurus. In short, I seek your blessings, so protected to be cared for by you from birth unremittingly throughout all my lives, and thus to become your chief disciple, holding every secret of your body, speech, and mind. O Protector, please grant that all be auspicious for me to be foremost among your very first circle of disciples, wherever you manifest Buddhahood, so that all my temporal and ultimate wishes, without exception, may be effortlessly and spontaneously fulfilled. In all my lives, never separated from perfect gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of the stages and paths, may I quickly attain the state of Ajadara. Furthermore, in life after life, may I, pleasing him in return, be forever fostered by an accomplished Mahayana spiritual master, the source of every virtue of this world and beyond. In his care, may I acquire in him a firm, unshakable faith, pleasing him by every means possible, doing nothing even for an instant to disappoint. May my spiritual master impart to me every instruction and every teaching in its entirety. Having understood them faultlessly, may I practice them and be able to bring them to perfection. May I never even for a moment fall under the sway of malevolent teachers and misleading friends. Having developed in every life belief in cause and effect, renunciation, the bodhimind, and the pure view, may I embark upon them continually with effortless experience. In every life, may every virtuous act gathered by way of body, speech, and mind be causes solely for the welfare of others and for the purest and highest enlightenment. Bottom of page 57. Through this virtue may I swiftly, having gained Guru Buddha state, place each and every sentient being without exception in that state. Precious supreme bodhimind, may it where unborn arise, and where born never decline, but increase forevermore. Bottom, page 75, bottom Miksema, so page 75. Migmete wete chen chen raise, dreame gyampe wampo jampelyang, gan chen kepe tu gyan song kapa, loves and rapage apla so ade. Thank you, Geshe. Few announcements. Next week, Tuesday, we have a Medicine Buddha Puja. Medicine Buddha is the Buddha of healing, and so it's a very powerful practice to dedicate for any family members or yourself with any health problems, and of course all the other Buddhas as well, but that's specifically Medicine Buddha, and it's a beautiful puja. Everything's done in English, so everyone's very, very welcome. Tuesday, 7 o'clock to probably 8 o'clock, 8:30. It's a very short puja. And then we have the next weekend, Friday, Venerable Thupten Chodron will be arriving. She's probably going to be getting here roughly, I think, 11 a.m., and I think she has a lunch at Wisdom Publications. I still need to make sure I've got her schedule right, but she's teaching Friday night on Good Karma. We have the book for $12.50 at sale. Beautiful book. I'm probably 60 pages into it right now, and it's really, really good. It's a commentary on the Wheel of Sharp Weapons. Then we have, so she's teaching on that Friday night, and then all day Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. Then we've got a potluck lunch, and then until 4 o'clock. And so that's it. Stop me if you have any questions. And again, thank you so much, Geshe. Thank you, Damchula.